was in a cat
one
carrier.
year, a few years back, I went to Mad Monster and I had him in a carrier, and the security people like, you can't bring animals in. It's like, it's not an animal.
He's got a mind of his own. Sorry, I can't do shit about it.
One thing, I actually had a thing where I could make it like move and stuff. So.
Sir, do you like having a dick? Do you want to lose it? Say something else. I open this fucking gate.
Well, the weirdest thing is when I did Days of Dead, and all these parents with like their kids, like, oh, look at the cute little thing. And I'm like, what's this movie about? Don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Yeah. It's good for all ages. Welcome, Earthlings, to the latest episode of the Wreak Havoc Film Buffs podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sellers, along with my co-pilot, Mr.
Sammie Castle.
We are joined here today with our very special guest, Mr.
Christopher G. Moore! Yay!
Yay! Finally!
We are all hanging out together in Roanoke, Virginia for 2018 Mysticon. This is our second year. What year is this for you, Christopher?
Fourth, I think.
Nice. So tonight, I think they're screening, or today, this afternoon, I'm not sure. They're screening Gut Punch.
Gut Punch is screening tonight at 11 p.m. as part of the Spinning the Splatters block of shorts.
Yeah. Very
the
cool.
18 plus shorts.
R-rated.
Dun dun dun.
18 plus is a definite.
18 plus, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I do think just for fun I should get up and give a disclaimer.
You should.
Like, the
we should have, you know, like the old timey movies where you have the thing you're about to watch may scare you.
Shocking.
If you're pregnant or you don't like seeing naked boobies, please leave the theater.
Scream for your life.
Yeah, I really love that kind of, you know, those intros back to those old movies you don't see anymore. I tried to fit that into our latest film, Midnight Shift, with a press conference. So the whole opening is this guy going, what you're about to see is really scary, you know, viewer discretion is advised, and then it goes into it, which is what I was going for. But
well, you know what? Let me just tell you this. I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass, but to me that's the most impressive part of your film.
Oh, really?
Because for me, the thing that irks me is when I see like fake press conferences in movies or like news people, news reporters.
It's really easy.
And it looks crappy.
Poorly,
but that looks like at first I thought you'd taken some actual news thing when it started. I was like, how did they get this this footage?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with Jeff.
I was about to say that's the acting.
Jeff
I think.
looks
he looks like a
freaking country sheriff.
But the people who got to do that, it looks really well, and I think that's a nice little setup to the stuff that happens right after. So.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. That's kind of what it was intended to be. Kind of a, you know.
When Dan said sheriff, let's cast a sheriff, my first thought was me. And then I went, no.
What?
No.
You're not getting
like
votes.
Deputy Dog.
But then the first person I thought of was Jeff May.
You could vote for Jeff.
Jeff, he looks and sounds like an old
I think if you do a Zucker Brothers parody of it, then we catch it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, so, okay. Speaking of Zucker Brothers, we were talking about the 1980 comedy classic.
Segue.
I know, you know. I'm like a natural at this. Hey.
Yeah, you've done a podcast or two before, haven't you?
A few.
We're talking about the 1980 comedy classic Airplane with an exclamation mark.
Dun, dun,
Is that the air conditioning that's like rumbling like a fucking airplane
it
engine?
does sound like
that's not an air
kind of
conditioner, that's an airplane. We're podcasting from on board a 747 just for this episode.
All right, let's put some context to this. How old were you when this movie came out?
-5.
How old were you when this movie came out?
I was a young boy.
Okay,
Young.
he don't want to tell.
Young.
I'm not gonna say how old I am.
I was young, but I was fast approaching the teenage years.
I've been a fan of this film since I was a youngster, and but when I watched it, I was able to watch it under the context of not how it was intended to be a parody of, you know, those disaster films of the 70s, you know, Airport, 76 and...
Well, it's actually a parody of Zero Hour, I think.
0 Hour?
Which, if you go back...
Yeah.
it almost feels like a parody itself because they do it so seriously.
Yeah.
It comes up kind of
Yeah.
cheesy.
Well, yeah, and
Because
one
they
of
actually copy lines from that film.
oh yeah. Well, from my understanding, it's basically the entire plot. It's just with gags, and and they act. Everything in this film is acted seriously. That's what I love about it. It's there's no one being silly or goofy. Everyone is being sincere, but the shit that's happening is silly and goofy.
Well, they got a lot of actors that were known for serious roles.
Because Leslie
Playing.
Nielsen wasn't doing comedies at that
Yeah,
time.
this was his first comedy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And you go back and look at a lot of his early stuff, he plays it pretty straight.
Well, and even afterwards, most of these guys.
Robert Stack. I mean, he's not known before this was not a comedy guy.
Well, I guess. Well, Barbara Billingsley was in a comedy. She just wasn't a comedy aspect of it. So yeah, most everybody was.
But
She was kind of the straight man.
What I was getting at is the as a kid, I watched this along with Naked Gun, but this actually came out almost 10 years before that, and Hot Shots and those kinds of things. So I had all those together as a kid, watching all those. All right, we're gonna play the movie and kind of fast forward a little bit through it.
But even I know that there was I heard an interview they had with Peter Graves. Like they gave the script and he didn't understand
Of
it.
Mission Impossible fame.
And it was his I think his kids or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta do this. This is hilarious. And and this film, like how many lines can people quote from this film?
It's
It's
a
so
very
heavily
quotable.
quotable.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard a good interview. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was David Zucker on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast a couple of weeks ago or months ago. It was very good. All right. Looks like our disc is skipping ahead anyway. So.
Skip ahead without us.
There's constant jokes. There's not really any scene in this film or any small segment where there's not something going on. If you're paying attention to it.
Well, and it's one of those
or not.
things that you can watch over and over and you'll catch new things.
Something, yeah.
The combative zone people or the actual people that did it at the airport in LA. They brought them in to
Oh,
actually
really?
do yeah.
Well, the guy that gets stuck in the taxi is actually Howard Koch, the producer.
Oh, really?
Ah, I didn't know that.
But the thing is, they also develop the style of where they have a serious conversation and there's something wacky going in the background,
And yeah,
or something wacky happening in the foreground, and the serious conversation happening in the background.
There's always that juxtaposition of something really silly and dumb and then something serious.
The two most badass Harry Christmas of all time.
And
They walk like freaking mobsters.
I love this.
We gave it The Office.
They look like badasses though, which Harry Christmas don't look
Well,
like.
but the thing is, this film is it feels like an amalgam of like every kind of bit you could do. Everything from simple pun gags to line gags. Like it's a new type of flying altogether or whatever, and other people repeat it. It's like how they take specific lines and they play off of that. Or I like a lot of stuff where how things are framed.
Yeah.
Like there's one part where that's Howard Koch, the producer. There's the one thing where they're at Robert Stack's house, and his wife is talking to him, and you think you're looking at him in the mirror,
Yeah.
and he's in the hallway.
Yeah.
And then there's also stuff where they just play around with like the part where they're driving, and they have like the old
rear projection.
stuff,
Yeah.
and so they make fun of the fact
Which
it
I
starts
love.
it starts speeding up, and then there's like people on horses. I mean, the stuff like that is just, and then there's stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Where have I seen that?
Yeah, so we kind of inspired by Airplane used rear projection for a driving scene in our first film, and halfway through they're on the wrong side of the road, and it was kind of just for
Then
fun,
it's
just
a
to
dirt
mess with
road,
the
and
audience.
then it's a paved road, and then it's.
It wasn't as crazy as Airplane because it was still trying to be a little bit believable, but it was kind of an homage to Airplane.
But yeah, this film has like, and then there's stuff that doesn't even make any sense but makes me
I
laugh.
copied it.
Like there's one part where it's like the two guys are like in the two airport people are talking, And there's like they say a long time ago, and a spear just like out of nowhere just goes against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we got to bring this thing. What do you bring it down? And then a watermelon just falls on the table next to them. And
You have a copy?
Yep.
My favorite one of those little parts is when it says shit's about to hit the fan, and then like this turd comes out of nowhere and hits.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing about it is how you'll like.
How literally they take some of these things.
Oh my
I
God.
want you to notice that the opposite movie on the other side is Airheads.
Jesus. Someone alphabetizes their discs.
But you know, like watching this, I don't know if I just forgot about it, but there's always little things that I think I might have missed. Like for some reason, I never paid attention when Peter Graves is going and he's looking at the magazine selection and he picks up Modern Sperm and it's from like this adult section. I didn't realize that the adult section is whacking material. I did not realize that until recently, until like I watched it again for this, and I was like, oh my God.
Look at this disc. No wonder it didn't work.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, what'd you do to it?
My kids have gotten a hold of this. Is what's happened. Okay, well, goodbye airplane. I guess I have to buy another
Either
copy.
that or the
Jesus, I can't
woman
believe
in
it.
the
I
believe
like
that
to
it
slid
did.
it in my sleeve, so I'll take it home with me.
I got a new airplane. Yay.
Was it scratched up by the woman in the bathroom trying to put her makeup on? By the way, you do know that's a Zucker Brothers mom, right? The woman that's trying to put the makeup on?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a cameo in every one of their films.
Ad for Tommy Boy.
Before this, I think Zucker Brothers made Kentucky Fried Movie, and that was their claim to
I
fame at the
love
point.
that movie.
That was a lot of that was based on their comedy skits they did in Kentucky Fried Theater.
Well, they were a comedy troupe, right?
So
Yeah.
funny.
From college, if I'm not mistaken.
And just not, there's no, it's not a movie. It's just a bunch of skits. But, I mean, it's almost Python-esque. It's almost, and I may have brought this up when we did Holy Grail. Have you ever seen the Paul Hogan show? Crocodile Dundee, you know Paul Hogan?
I've seen his movies. I've never seen his show.
He did a sketch show in Australia that
really?
was very Python-esque, but I thought was funnier because it's got that Australian humor instead of British humor isn't always. Sometimes we as Americans don't get a lot of that stuff, but the Paul Hogan stuff. But it was Kentucky Fried Movie was very just like a bunch of sketches put together.
Although I will say, even though Airplane is probably my favorite comedy of all time, I do love me some Top Secret. And mainly because in Top Secret they took it even further. They got to do all kinds of different things they always wanted to do, like an underwater fight scene and one scene shot backwards and stuff. But I mean, this film, I mean, I know people always say about Airplane that you couldn't make that film today. Because they do have a few segments that, that some people might be offended by, I guess, because of either racial.
Well, not the same jokes. This film has been copied and copied and copied.
Oh God, yeah. They try to copy the style, and I think they lose the essence of what made Airplane good.
Well, very much so, yeah.
Because Airplane plays off of the tropes.
Yeah.
Most of your parodies are more about just parodying specific movies and making pop culture references, like the disaster movie, those crappy parody stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is how parody is done. Well, especially when you're looking at parodying a specific movie. I don't know. Everyone has their own taste. In my opinion, when it's done poorly, it looks like a scary movie. I'm not a fan.
I like the first one.
I enjoyed the first one, and then there was a fourth one that was actually directed by David Zucker.
Yeah,
that isn't too
I think
bad.
A couple of them were, weren't they?
And there's the Zucker brother one of the superhero movie that's not too bad. But yeah, it's kind of sad how that specific format. Like one day I would love to do my own like Zucker brother.
But what do you? I mean, it's. They've almost killed that genre with the scary movie stuff. The Wayans brothers kind of got so much into that.
Well, the problem is they made it more slapsticky than parody or satire.
Yeah.
Even the sad part is I feel like what's his name who did Young Frankenstein and
No,
not
Brooks.
Mel Brooks. It's like even he sort of has lost like his
Oh, yeah.
ability to like when you think of like Blazing Saddles in those times, then you look later at like Robin Hood.
Toward the end of his directing career, there's
it doesn't feel this, or even
Yeah.
like Dracula.
There was an arc there in the 70s, and it's he's still great.
Oh, he's still great.
But his directing style was of a certain time, was perfect for the 70s, mid 70s. One thing, this film is very timely for its time. It doesn't. There's a lot of jokes that kids watching this for the first time in 2018 wouldn't get a lot of these jokes, like the full service guy here cleaning the plane and pumping gas into it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes that are like that don't necessarily hold up unless you remember that era.
Well, I don't know. I think that in itself isn't. I think they realize nobody's gonna like try to work on a plane like a car mechanic.
Yeah.
So I think there's other stuff just
if you remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
But some of the wordplay and stuff like
right?
the Roger, Hand Grover.
What's your vector, Victor?
Well, them playing off all each other's names.
Yeah,
Because they kind of incorporate all of them.
Clarence. What's the Clarence?
Yeah.
Roger.
Also, my favorite part is later when they're in the control. It's like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Why does he have no credit card? So it's things like that. It's just like, oh god,
The children.
The children thing cracks me up. Even though I'm sure if they did that today, people are like, what? I like my coffee like my man, black. Just this little girl saying that is just so funny.
It cuts the look on that kid's face. It's so funny.
And then like, this is the commitment to the joke.
Yeah.
He's like, well, give me one to Chicago. Smoking or non-smoking? Smoking. And he carries it. And it's always smoking. Every shot, even when he gets in his seat, it's still smoking.
It's still smoking. Guy's still stuck in the
Well,
cab.
and back in that day, you could do that.
You could smoke in airplanes.
But
But I'm just talking about his ticket.
His
Was
literally-
His ticket smoking.
The ticket is literally smoking.
Yes. But it's like wherever he's walking,
Everywhere he
they
goes.
actually dedicate. They didn't like stop it just for that one joke. It's still smoking there.
Yep.
And then when he gets in the seat, it's still smoking. The funny thing also with the train bit when the plane's about to leave and all aboard.
Running along the side. Better hurry, son. Plane's about to leave.
Let's throw a little stock footage in there.
Yeah, I love that he was apparently a fighter pilot in like World War II and Korea and.
But did he? I don't know. Did he shoot somebody down by accident or did he wreck his plane? I don't know. It never did really tell exactly what happened.
From his flashbacks, there's no telling what era.
It's funny as hell. It's
Yeah,
racist. but
okay,
it's
so
funny as hell.
this is the kind of joke that wouldn't play in 2018.
Would it?
No,
You don't think?
no, it wouldn't be made.
But I mean,
It
that
could be
lingo,
made. It
that
could be
lingo-
made by like a Wayans Brothers, but it's
Yeah.
still. It
Well,
wouldn't
it would have to
funny.
be like Blazing Saddles, where they brought on
But still,
what's
you
his name?
wouldn't.
Richard Pryor.
I'm just saying, no matter who made it, I don't think you would see this in 2018. They just wouldn't make it. It may be funny, and you just not in a major motion.
No, they
picture
probably
with
would do a
big
switch on
release.
it where the white people
Because
are
there's a whole
talking.
lingo. They'll have to translate for me sometimes.
But then the white woman, the old lady. Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive.
Well, the funny thing is it's Mrs. Cleaver
Yeah, Mrs.
from
Barbara
Leave It to Cleaver,
Billingsley.
which makes it even hilarious if you know where she's from.
And she said mofo.
Fasten the seatbelts. Put that onto the seatbelts. Just stupid stuff like that. Oh, this the things they have some women say just makes me laugh because
Yeah.
they're talking in this tender voice. Because I love the thing where she's like, oh, she's just a lovely girl. Supple pouting breasts.
Firm thighs. It's a shame you two don't get along.
And there's a part later on where he's talking to her. It's like, yeah, I remember when I used to sit on your face and ring. It's just like she's talking all romantic and she's talking about sex. Oh, all aboard. There's.
I think Peter Gray's objected to the nods or the jokes at being a child molester too.
Yeah,
I think that
probably.
was a lot of it. But it's perfect for him because he seems such like this straight laced dude.
Okay, I got a funny story that Chris may get, you probably don't get. The girl's mom, the sick girl in the bed's mom, Joyce Biliphant, something like that. She used to see her on Hollywood Squares and shit like that all the time as an actress, but you'd never seen her in anything. So when she popped up on this, I went, she does know how to do it.
Well, it's weird now just knowing you have two people from the Love Boat that are part of this cast.
Heard David Zucker talk about showing this to test audiences, and in the original cut of this scene, she's just running along the side of the plane. That was the joke, not her running into things. No one laughed. They didn't get the joke. They didn't run, And so they went back and put in shots of her running, knocking down the pillars, and then people laughed like hell at that. I thought that was great.
I think it's funny when it's like, she's like, oh, this is your watch on here. Oh, it doesn't work.
Just keep it. It doesn't work anyways. Huh?
What? Huh? What? Roger.
I can't wait till we get into the autopilot.
Something.
Okay, so after this,
something
Zucker Brothers.
like Roger.
Zucker Brothers did Police Squad, the TV show that ran one season.
I watched every episode of it. I have it on DVD.
I do too.
They said it was too intelligent for people, which is true. It is a brilliant. And even they got away with stuff like.
But it's funny you say it because it is intelligent, but it's the same dumb humor as this.
Oh, it is.
But you have to pay attention to it.
But it is like there's one part they're like, let's go out to the Chinese garden, and like Chinese people in garden pots. So it's like.
But what they don't, apparently they did,
There's another.
I guess it's ABC or whoever didn't understand was, people don't want to People don't want to have to watch shows. They want to be able to put it on the background and kind of half-ass pay attention to it. And
this scene, I don't really know why. Scene. But why is it
having two Girl Scouts fighting?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't.
I think it's funny where they don't expect to see Girl Scouts fight.
Well, they build it up like, oh, this is the worst of the worst, and you have these two Girl Scouts that are beating the shit out of each other. It's just hilarious.
Moss Isley.
Yeah, I know. I kept expecting there to be aliens.
And then we cut to a Saturday Night Fever.
I would really love to see the Zucker Brothers do a Star Wars parody. That's what I want to see.
I could see that.
I love this guy. He's just the way he moves. It's like a Lego character.
It looks like a stereotypical French.
Yeah, they definitely did pick the people for their looks in that disco scene.
Let disco die.
I didn't go there that night to fall in love. I just dropped in.
Which they make a joke later on.
Yeah.
Where the
disco never dies.
The radio station is WZAZ. Zucker.
Zucker.
I don't know that I caught that.
I was captivated, entranced. Wonderful. I had to ask the guy next to me to pinch me. Pinch me. I wasn't dreaming.
Like that look like. Okay.
Wrong bar, village people down the street.
That night, fate was on my side.
All the actors in this film are really good actors. Julie Haggerty is just in general a good actor, not just a comedic actor.
Help me. The guy gets stabbed in the back.
Although you can sort of see in the scene that the guy's trying to make sure he stabs him in the one little block in the back.
Yeah.
But he stabs him right on the left side of that, so it's like, ugh. On the back, and then it pops back like it's a boomerang.
Just a little random.
I love this, but he's got this big white military uniform.
He takes off.
And takes it off, and he's like
Air Force uniform. He's
like
straight up John Travolta with the bell bottoms and everything.
Here it comes back.
I'm kind of surprised they the Bee Gees gave permission to use this song. I mean, it's such a straight up parody of
Well, it is,
Saturday
but-
Night Fever. You know, I mean, I'm wondering if it was the same
But just
studio.
this section. You know, back then it was whatever kind of money.
I guess
you made.
as long as the studio paid, we don't care. Maybe
Maybe
yeah,
the John Carpenter
musicians.
of
Yeah, maybe they weren't as picky about what they're.
I just love it. She's like, "Whoop."
What a great tagline. The plane's going to Chicago, the pilot's going to New York, the passengers are going to pieces.
I love the sound effect.
You shot something. Oh, sorry.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. We could sit here and watch this movie all day.
Let me tell you, this movie is the movie that I always, if I'm down,
Yeah.
if I've had a crappy day, I can watch it and it makes me feel good. It makes me smile, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It's one of those films that the jokes always make me laugh. Like, those, you know,
See,
the Ghost Body
okay.
drops right here.
Now, for me,
The woman talking herself.
because he just kept
She's
talking.
so
and
bored
kept
by
talking
it.
and kept talking. For me, it's not held up as well as I kind of hoped it would. I'm more of a Blazing Saddles guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was still funny. But it was at times it kind of it would kind of lose me a little bit. It didn't hold up as well.
Excuse me. I happened to be passing. I thought you might like some coffee.
Little business
Oh,
suits.
it's very nice of you. Thank you. I want you to stand. Thank you. Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
I just love his like expression. Like,
Oh, God.
What does that even mean? And they were meant to be just like little adults,
Yeah.
just in kids' bodies.
And now we have her flashback, which is a
Which is
parody of
From Here to Eternity.
Near Eternity. Yeah. It's a lot of parodies and
Seaweed draped
homages
all
and-
over him. Sand in my shorts. And
Yeah, watching this time, I was like, oh god, she's got so much sand in her hair. It's gonna be a pain to get out.
drown themselves. The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Oh, that's one of the
Johnny,
famous
you like
lines.
gladiator films?
You ever been to a Turkish prison?
Check the weather, Clarence? No, why don't you take care of it? Joey, you ever hang around the gymnasium? No, Joey can stay here for one if you like.
Could I? Okay, if you don't get in the way.
In that serious, dramatic voice.
Cruise at 42,000. We'll report again over Lincoln. Over and out.
He's just staring at him.
Wait a minute. I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm sorry, son, but you must have me confused with someone else.
Well, you could confuse him with anybody else.
You are Kareem.
7'2".
Play. My dad's got season tickets.
I think you should go back to your seat.
I love how he gets uncomfortable at the questioning.
No, he's not bothering anyone.
So supposedly the story is that at some point a little bit past this, Kareem was on a plane
I'm an airline.
and he asked that he could go up and sit in the co-pilot seat so everybody on the plane could say they flew with Roger Murdoch.
That's
He says
great.
that lots of times you don't even run down court. And that you don't really try, except during the playoffs.
Hell, I don't.
No, I don't.
I've been hearing that crap ever since I was at UCLA. I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Oh my
That is a
God.
classic scene. There's no doubt.
I dare you to go back and watch an old Mission Impossible now and not think of those scenes.
It'll be different. Like it was in the beginning, remember?
Budget was $3.5 million.
Wow.
$3.5 million wouldn't buy you one of those actors now.
Yeah.
Well, luckily it is a, well, A lot of it takes place inside of a fake airplane, but then you have things like this.
All right, one of my
STP. Forgot about that.
one of my favorite jokes in the movie is coming up here in just a sec. The Ethel Merman joke.
Who a lot of people, she's lost to time. Not a lot of people know anymore who Ethel Merman is.
They're talking about the other veteran patients in the hospital.
What's his world?
Lieutenant Hurwitz. Severe shell shock. Thinks he's Ethel Merman.
You well, you'll be great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate.
And then it's Ethel Merman.
He thinks he's Ethel Merman.
Stop now. Honey, everything's coming around.
I love it so much.
That's so funny.
Ugh.
That's one of my favorite
Ethel
gags.
Merman's related to,
Excuse me, sir.
what is his name?
Oh god.
He never drinks coffee at home.
Oh, the fucking nun. Okay, let's see.
Taking a guitar and hitting everybody in the head. Can I sing a song for you?
Next thing the Zuckers did was Top Secret in '84.
I love when people pop into frame from above.
Yeah, just randomly.
Everyone of us likes hearing the song.
I love when they go to the cockpit and the two people look at each other and the one in the back just looks at the camera for no reason. Isn't that the guy that from?
He's been in a lot of things. He's been in a lot.
Gilligan's Island?
Little Trouble in China. Big Trouble in Little China.
Probably.
I think so. Here, I'll see if I can find it.
That's how I was going to look.
Yeah, here's another scene that's kind of.
He looks like the guy from Gilligan's Island. They all look the same. James Hong. That's James Hong. That's Big Trouble in Little China.
That's what I'm saying.
That is him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I didn't realize. I didn't put two and two together with that until I watched this recently.
God, he's
It's like,
in
wow.
all sorts of stuff.
How many acting credits does he have? It's a ton.
A bunch.
Yeah.
He's also, what was the funny movie we did? We've done a movie with him in it that's funny.
I'm sure.
A comedy here recently. He's in Rush Hour.
John never throws up.
He's
at home.
he's all tied into Kung Fu.
Which makes fun of those old coffee ads.
Yeah.
So yeah, here he Leslie Nielsen does a sleight of hand. He
Yeah.
actually has the egg in his hand every time he brings up an egg. So that's why his arm goes down because he has it. He palms it in his hand.
Yeah. She just keeps producing that same egg.
Although I
over and
do
over.
think it's very funny. It's like when they go to his seat, he's like, "Sir, are you a doctor?" And he doesn't have headphones in. He just has a stethoscope in his ears. Well, yes, I am.
Cracked the egg, the bird flew out.
And he's playing this with just as serious as a heart attack.
Land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big
Building
building.
with patients.
That's not a good one. I must speak.
Certain.
James Hong.
We haven't passed the Shirley joke, have we? Because that's one of the best parts of the film.
I don't
Victor,
think
we're
so.
running into some heavy
Well, it's
weather.
and probably the most well-known part.
Yeah.
Because now everybody, anytime anybody says Shirley,
Yeah.
don't call me Shirley. James Hong was in Balls of Fury. There's a lot of TV stuff.
I know he's on Seinfeld.
Croatia.
All right, I'm gonna have to play something so we don't have silence.
We're all
right.
watching it fast forward.
Hey,
I'm working on stuff, man.
so Kareem passes out when they pull him out. He's got his basketball trunks.
Instead of
What is
pants.
it, Doctor? What's going on? I'm not sure. Haven't seen anything like this since the Anita Brad concert. What was it we had for dinner tonight?
Well, we had a choice, steak or fish.
Yes, I remember. I had lasagna.
No, I love this where the joke is he explains the symptoms and Peter Graves acts it out.
Yeah.
It's just a brilliant comedy bit.
Yeah.
This is
Like he's getting it, does it?
Been a little bumpy up here, but we'll be past it in a few minutes. A couple points of interest. We're now flying over Hoover Dam.
No one
Just
notices
dragging
the
past
bodies.
out pilots. Nobody was really paying attention.
Okay. Chicago, this is Flight 209er. We're in trouble. We've got to have all traffic below us cleared. And I want a priority.
You know,
approval
one
landing
thing
in
that
Chicago.
really makes this film is the music as well.
I agree.
Elmer Bernstein did the music.
Yeah.
And there's parts where the music informs,
Well, the doctor will
you know, the drama of it, but
Yeah.
also sometimes informs the comedy bits, or
Yeah.
sometimes the music will stop.
Well, it's played to such a heightened dramatic effect. You know, it's so over the top at some point. I was thinking when we were watching this earlier that the opening reminds me of Mel Brooks' High Anxiety. When it opens in the airplane. Wow, that's a dramatic airport. Here's the scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
And he looks down and
Now,
sees,
we're up against every passenger on this plane.
The bones.
and he looks over to his plate.
Violently ill in the next half hour.
Yeah, and it's just a whole fishbone.
Yeah, like, wow, they don't even like fillet it at all.
Yeah, fucking cartoon.
Virus penetrates the red blood cells, the victim becomes dizzy. Begins to experience an itching rash. From there, the poison goes to work on the central nervous system, causing severe muscle spasms.
Peter Graves does a good job with
The
this.
entire digestive system
Because this is one long shot.
accompanied by uncontrollable flatulence. This poor bastard is reduced to a quivering, wasted piece of jelly.
Poor bastard. Sammy, this shot's for
Movie
you.
shot. There, and
There's
there's the
his
Zucker
mom.
Bros smiling. I just think it's for 51. No having sex.
No sex.
Just those rows.
Yeah.
You can have sex in the earlier rows.
Automatic pilot.
There it is.
I really wish they'd make that. I'd have one of these in my
Yeah.
house.
I bet it would sell.
I'll go back to the passengers.
Have as like a co-pilot in your car.
Well, especially if he could do, because Otto does everything.
Yeah.
He flies the plane, and I mean, it's.
You just have to make sure you keep them,
This is Elaine Dickinson.
keep them blown up.
You almost went there, didn't you?
The scene. Okay.
Somebody blow on him.
We'll have to stop the scene where she's inflating him. And he smiles.
We'll have to stop way before that.
Lloyd Bridges. This actor. This film has so many good, dramatic, serious actors in these hilarious roles.
But also, I think the balding guy that comes in with the lines. Like, what do you make of this? Oh, I can make a pterodactyl. Like,
Leon's getting larger.
Or they're like, plane's about to be doomed, and he's like, there's a sale at Penny's.
There's a selling pennies.
Oh, there we go.
While he's smiling.
Nodding his head.
Oh my god. This one cracks me up.
They're smoking a cigarette.
That doesn't seem very safe if you're inflatable and you're smoking. But, who am I to judge?
That's great.
Hey, he's got their airplane flying. That's all that matters.
Elaine,
Yes, doctor.
Elaine, you're a member of this crew. Can you face some unpleasant facts?
No.
All right. Hospital quickly. I can't even be sure of saving their lives. Now, is there anyone on board who can land this plane?
His drinking problem.
He throws it in his ear.
He's got,
I think you want to know
he
what
He
can't.
just like
He
I
can't.
put anyone on board who
hits whatever part of his head other than his mouth.
Oh,
fly
God.
this plane, but who didn't have fish for dinner.
Just throw a little hard trope in
Is this
there.
for the
Well, I
statue?
know, I love it. When there's a dramatic, you always get the lightning crash and doo-doo.
I'm not sure if we missed it or not, but the scene where the little Jesus statue on the dash covers his eyes.
We regret any inconvenience the sudden cabin movement might have caused.
This is due to periodic air pockets we encounter. There's no reason to become alarmed, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your flight. By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
What if we have the random boobs at some point? Yeah, there they go.
Hey, boobs!
Just stop in front of the camera and move on.
There's
Sword fighting.
And there's a nun fighting a Hare Krishna.
And now we have another dramatic, famous actor with Robert Stack.
Hello, I'm Paul Carey from the airline. I'm here to pick up Captain Kramer.
Oh, yes. Come in, Paul. Rex will be right out.
Who would later go on to infamy and probably known better as the host of
Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you almost said America's Most Wanted, which is a completely different.
No, I was saying he's probably better known for that now than playing Elliot Ness.
Yeah.
But after a while, you again get used to it.
Chip, come.
See, I love this. Like they set up the
So
mirror
excited
thing.
Yeah.
when new people are here.
This is a great gag.
Are you a pilot yourself?
I'm in.
It's unbelievable.
I do hate it when you go in someone's house and their dog is just like all over you, and
Warn those people about
it doesn't bother them at all.
I think after all these years, someone would listen to you.
Oh, well, airport management, the FAA, and the airlines. Oh, cheats and liars. All right, let's get out of here.
He just walks through the mirror.
I love that. I mean,
That was a good long setup for that.
Well,
Yeah.
no. We also had the setup earlier where he's painting that painting where the guy looks like his legs behind him, and he's just got it like.
This guy's about to set himself on fire.
He's literally killed almost everybody that he's. Well, I guess he has killed everybody except beside. Except for Otto. Otto didn't stay.
Oh, that's a. I think we missed the line where he said Shirley. Oh, and it's like it's all different type of flying
Yeah.
altogether. It's all different type of flying.
It's,
The infinite controls. Yeah, surely you must be. What did he say? Surely you're not serious. I am serious. Don't call me Shirley.
And there's later on that he's like Shirley something or other. It's like stop calling me Shirley. I know.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
No, we can't do that.
Okay, here's the rear projection scene we were talking about earlier.
Keep them at 24,000. No, fee.
Which really, if it just stayed the way it is right now, it would be. No, that's a road.
Oh.
But if it was just the way it is right now, it would be normal in a film made for this time period. Maybe a little bit earlier.
Which is like you can tell it's like
You do.
the rear projection is like too big,
Yeah.
Flew them during the war.
but then it starts going faster.
Job then easier.
So then it's like
He's just wildly turning
It
the.
was a drag flight.
it's just like going at a crazy speed for no reason.
Felt
Yeah.
too much inside. Maybe you know the guy. And all the peace.
while he's having a big dramatic reading monologue.
I say I enjoyed the shit out of that experience when we shot the driving scene with rear projection. Shot it in my driveway with a screen behind it and the projector on top of the car, and had someone shaking the car on the outside, and someone with lights
And the tree limbs.
running by, and tree limbs. Yeah, Tracy, our assistant,
Oh, okay.
had tree limbs hitting the car.
How she wrecked it.
So rinse.
Yeah.
Or he wrecked it.
Ted, what are you doing here? You can't fly this plane.
That's what I've been trying to tell these people. I don't have time to say this gently, so I'll be very direct. Everyone on this plane is in a desperate situation. Mr. Stryker is the only hope we've got.
That's it. There's a Jesus covering his eyes.
Thrust.
Whoops.
Turn on the
Now, has Robert Hayes really done much outside of this? Is he known for any other comedies? I mean, not to my knowledge,
Not
but
really. Although they did do a they did a commercial for Wisconsin or something, and they had him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doing an airplane bit, and they actually had the Zucker Brothers direct it.
Well, I think at some point we do need to acknowledge that there is an Airplane 2, the sequel,
Yep.
directed by Ken Finkelman, not the Zuckers, and has a lot of the same people.
Has a lot of the same jokes.
The exact same
It's
jokes.
just him on a space shuttle instead of a.
But you're adding Raymond Burr, Rip Torn,
Oh God.
William Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner is the stack part of it.
I think I've seen it once.
Because he's like, I think we found a bobby pin, and William Shatner's like, what the hell's a man doing with a bobby pin in space? You know, you know what? I know the Zucker Brothers have mentioned they have no reason to watch it because they weren't affiliated with it.
Yeah.
But it has some funny moments. It has Sonny from Sonny and Cher.
Mm-hmm.
He's this guy that's got
Sonny Bono.
Which is kind of weird now, but he's going to try to blow up the plane. But he goes to a shop in the airport and they have all these bombs you could buy at the airport shop, which is weird. But it has its moments, but it definitely feels just basically a rip-off of the first.
Yeah. I've seen it once and I never felt compelled to see it again. I
don't mind seeing it. I've watched it.
Yeah,
but it's not the same as the first.
All right, after Top Secret, there's another film, Ruthless People, which I'm not familiar with.
You've never seen Ruthless People?
I haven't.
That's a classic comedy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? Never
Never
seen it.
It's got Danny DeVito in it. It's a very funny comedy.
Bette Midler, Judge Reinhold.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a great cast in it.
Then they did the film adaptation of Police Squad with Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, which we did, ironically enough, with Tom Gore as our guest. And
I love that movie. That's like classic. It's not as good as
to me, I think Naked Gun is right up there with this as far as quality, and I don't really recall the sequels being nearly as good. They did Basketball in the late 90s with Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Basketball is an underrated.
I agree. It is underrated.
It sort of went under the radar for people, but it's got some really funny moments in it.
Well, I think at the time it came out, those two guys were just starting to get kind of known, and
didn't they have Robert Stack in that as well?
Playing himself as the host of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh yeah.
Because one of the guys goes missing at one point, and then they cut to him in that creepy music and him in the trench coat. And it's so funny. He does this really funny self-parody where he's like, according to the neighbor, the nosy bitch down the street who asked to remain anonymous. She saw it.
I love the movie. Just definitely pushes the taste level.
That's true.
Oh wait, there's no doubt.
Yeah, you have that scene where they're in the locker room and they have these long.
Oh my God!
And every time they turn, it swings. Or they find find a vibrator or something, and it's weird. It's a funny film.
One of my favorite jokes in that movie is Robert Vaughn is he's got one of those the little I don't even know what you call them, but the listening devices where you point it and you can listen on the headphones, and he comes over and goes, "Gentlemen, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation." Okay, David Zucker did a Scary Movie 3, 4, and 5. So I didn't realize he did all those, but I think that's about it. He's done a few things, but all right, back to the movie. I like this scene where Robert Stack is being accosted by the people asking for money, and he's
beats the hell out of all those people trying to get.
I didn't realize there was a Scientology reference in this until I saw this time.
Oh, I didn't either.
I didn't realize Scientology was that.
Which one was it?
Well, they're just mentioning all the different things, and they say Jerry's Kids, Scientology.
Huh.
I think it's funny. Like, these people coming down the luggage rack.
Oh, and just going around the carousel. Yeah, that's funny.
No, I love the part where he's got 2 pairs of sunglasses on. And so he gets to be like dramatic twice.
Takes one off for dramatic effect. There's another one left.
All right, Steve, let's face a few facts. And he's still got another pair of sunglasses on. Oh, God. See, there's little things like this that just play off of those tropes of a lot of different types of films. Not just like disaster films.
Yeah.
Dramatic films. See, there's
Yeah.
a long time ago.
There's a random
It's like,
spear.
right down to the ground. And then there's like a watermelon that drops.
They get to use Lloyd Bridges again in the Hot Shots movies.
Yep.
Looks like I picked a good bad week to quit drinking. I think we're getting ready to see the shit hit the fan here in a second, which is one of my favorite gags. Yeah, and Stryker and Kramer have a history.
But do they ever really explain what the history is?
Yeah, he sent him on a mission, or somehow he got blamed for something. I can't remember, but they explain it. It doesn't matter. It's just a plot device.
Otto's filling her up too. Get him, Otto.
I think the second airplane they use his name as a joke, really, like Stryker, and then this guy hits a girl.
There we go.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama didn't raise no dummies. I duck a rap.
Got me some
Jack,
slick
Jack. Put them kids at her.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains.
This old white woman speaking jive.
Excuse me, stewardess. I speak jive.
Chase, give me Captain Otis life phone with that. I don't know what's going on. Chase, this weather going to set you off the wire.
The person you least expect to
Johnny, what do
do
you
it.
make out of this?
Love his typing.
Yes. Washington Town.
Brooch, or pterodactyl. That guy cracks me up. I think he might be related to their Kentucky Fried Chicken
I don't know. He's great though.
group, but he just cracks me up.
He's hilarious.
The part where he's like, the horse thing doesn't make any sense. Like,
Sleeping with a horse.
I got a bestiality joke. But when she comes in there and he's like, and he just takes a look, he's like, oh, look at that dress and those shoes.
Yeah.
Look awful.
Back door. There's juice in the refrigerator.
Like this.
What if it plays into The Godfather? Her
Okay.
horse is
I don't
alive.
know. I don't know if that's a
I don't
reference or
know.
not.
I think it's just random stuff.
The actor
It's
is,
sort of like Top Secret.
yeah.
There's a scene in Top Secret that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like when they're on the train and Val Kilmer looks out the window and there's a guy that's running and there's a tree that's going at the same speed as the train,
Yeah.
and the guy grabs onto the tree. This businessman grabs onto the tree. It makes no sense, but it cracks me up because it makes no sense.
How you doing, honey?
Yeah, the actor is named Robert Starr, and it's this Kentucky Fried movie and a lot of little credits in TVs and TV shows and movies throughout the 80s and 90s.
Everybody, and that's an airplane joke everybody gets that's ever ridden in an airplane. Because you'll have that one air vent that just, and then you'll have one that's like,
I don't understand. It should have been arranged 10 minutes ago. Anderson, check the radar range. Anything yet?
Radar joke.
2 more minutes. Particularly miles, of course. It's impossible.
Reminds me of the Spaceballs joke where the radars were jammed.
Oh yeah.
the jam, the strawberry jam, okay.
Anderson, let me know when you get anything. Got a cigarette, Nelson? Can't take much more of this.
Jimmy Walker was the windshield wiper man at the beginning. I didn't.
He was,
I didn't know
yeah,
that was
really?
him.
You know?
I didn't know. Huh?
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines. Johnny, how much more coffee?
He always picked the wrong week to quit something.
Yeah.
How much longer can those passengers hold out? Half an hour, less 45 minutes. Who's flying the plane? One of the passengers. But he's an experienced Air Force.
There's ice cream.
So there's no cost.
I never noticed that before.
There's all these microphones and there's this one guy with ice cream.
Reds, stripes, curtains in the window, and wheels.
like
It
a-
looks like a big Tylenol.
Come on, guys, let's take some pictures.
It's like
And
a
they take
big
pictures.
Tylenol. Let's take some pictures.
And they literally take pictures off the wall. Ba-da-da-boom.
I do love the part where they like the news hit where they landed and all the reporters run into the phone booths and the phone booths fall over.
All fall over.
I love this newspaper thing. Boy
You know,
trapped in the refrigerator eats own foot.
It's funny.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Oh,
The newscast
this bit when it goes to like the
from all over the world.
Somalian or whatever, where he's in order to do the in order to do the special thing, and then like they do a news reporting truck where they go to second camera, and that cracks me up. They had the sense.
And that guy is so
different tone.
totally Italian or something playing.
Yeah.
I say,
Let them crash. They bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. But I love that thing where it's like, in order to do extreme news with this like playing the drums, they have to give him special sticks to
That's
do that.
funny. Yeah.
And then when he turns to do that, the second camera thing, oh my god, this movie is so brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny where she's the nun saying a really bad version of R.A.'s
Yeah.
ACT,
Yeah.
and the black guys are like, "Oh, this is making me more sick." Oh, I love that part too, where like a girl's like, "I don't want to die, I'm alone," and then the girl's like, the other woman's like, "Well, I'm glad I have a husband."
Thank God, at least I have a husband.
Yeah.
See, like, there's like scene after scene after scene is so hilarious. Oh,
Yeah, they don't
God.
let up on the gags at all.
There's the
Oh,
shit
they're,
hitting the fan thing.
they don't ever let up on the gags. It's just one after the other.
What's the thing? It's like you can. It's okay to miss something, and then
Yeah.
it makes you want to watch it again because you catch other stuff.
You're right. You're right. They're very rewatchable.
it's not his fault. Could happen to any pilot.
It happened to Barbara Stanwyck.
Might break. I remember who you're dealing with.
Barbara Stanwyck.
Jared, there's a
Fire
fire
in the barn. That's what is that? The western they're making a
I
reference
don't even
to.
know.
I think it's Big
Big Valley?
Big Valley?
That TV show?
I think it's the reference to Big Valley.
Very possible.
I don't have what it takes. I'd be better off with someone who never flown before.
I was doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
love the-
advanced autopilot for that time period.
Considering it's a blow up and he doesn't have anything.
His
he's
drinking
still,
problem. He can't drink a cup of water. He's getting a little pep talk from Leslie Nielsen.
Which is, I think this is like a parody of like baseball or sports film.
It's definitely a sports film or sports.
Captain made the right decision. Pilot's name was George Zip.
no, it's football.
George Zip said that.
Win one for the Gipper.
Last thing he said to me,
Win one
he
for the
said,
Zipper.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are not sports
Sometime.
people.
No, I'm not.
You, I guess y'all didn't get the Manny Moto baseball reference.
Oh, yeah.
earlier, yeah. Pinch
Tell them
hitting.
to get out there and give it all
You know what? I kind of miss this Leslie
Win.
Nielsen.
Mhm.
Because I think once it got to Naked Gun, he started doing more like wacky facial expressions, which is fun. But in here, it's more subtle.
That
With
won't
that,
smell too
where he's
good,
more
that's
serious.
Well, I think progressively as he got into more comedy career, he got more and more wacky. You know.
Well, when you're like
I've got a plan.
accidentally jacking off the statue, and you're caught with a big concrete dildo.
concrete dildo. I love that movie. And they take the best gags from the show too and put them all in that one movie. It's so brilliant.
Da, da, da. He's gonna do this. He's gonna be the hero he's meant to be.
Dr. Rumack says the sick people are in critical condition, and every minute counts. We've got to land now.
Don't be a fool, Stryker. You know a landing like this means you more than anybody. I'm ordering you. Stay up there.
No dice, Chicago. I'm giving the orders and we're coming in. I guess the foot's on the other hand now, isn't it?
And just a random. They do that stuff all the time too. Just random. You think it's headed one direction and they just. What? No.
Now, his command, he's in charge. Boss, that man, top dog.
Big cheese.
The head honcho. Has to be certain to die. Here, like that. There's a
Salad pennies. Oh my god, I love that. That's the joke that set up the
God.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3 punchline.
Me, John, big tree. Striker, we're going to the tower. Good one.
Alright, let's skip it just a little bit.
Ready, sir. Captain McCroskey.
And the referee.
Captain Kramer. This is Captain
Captain. There's another movie that does that kind of gag too.
Check all air traffic within 5
I don't think it's Captain though.
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
And then sniffs it.
Of course, that's what everybody does.
Husband of the other, you're alive. Unconscious, just like Gerald Ford.
Just like Gerald Ford.
Runway is nice.
Oh God.
Who will die in less than an hour, let alone
You'll be okay. I just had sex with a horse.
Red handle's right in front of you.
Lloyd Bridges is hilarious in this. Just that look.
Yeah.
Put the 4 ignition switches over the co-pilot's head.
His hair is all messed up, and he's so.
Especially later when he's like hanging upside down.
Yeah. I'm surprised they got him to do something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I think that was the big gag of a lot of these actors. Like, how do they get Peter Graves to say the things he says, and then Lloyd Bridges and.
It's so.
We're just having them do their normal delivery with those lines. Even his comedic sensibilities, because I don't think even he's done a lot of comedies before this.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
But can you see Peter Graves getting handed this script and going,
They want me to say what?
"What the hell is this?" But does he say that, or is he like, "This is fucking brilliant. I've got to do this."
Oh, I think it was the former, and he had to be convinced to do it. Because these guys weren't well-known filmmakers at this point. You know, this was not a proven thing.
Yeah. And how many people have used this sweat gag after post this?
Yeah.
Crash position. That is a great look.
Asshole.
Key and Peele has a great sweat gag where every time he lies, a little sweat keeps coming out, or it's a really great scene.
Like one plug to turn out the whole thing.
Coming in so fast, watch your speed. He's coming right at us.
So he jumps up.
I just keep going.
Yep, not a problem.
Watch for that crosswind. Level it out.
I love how the steering just like goes.
He's
all
basically
over the
just
place.
holding it up.
But it even goes like way up. It's like what? What's going on?
Well,
with this?
the arcade games did that. The arcade flight simulators would move like that,
Oh, really?
and they were hard to control. But they would bounce all around like that because it was kind of animated. Whoops.
Just want to tell you both good luck. We're all
Okay, okay.
And this is like the fourth time.
I did this morning. I do. That's a line I use all the time.
Is it really?
Like I'll say it to my coworkers. I did it this morning to the persons in my room. We believe in it's like, good luck, we're all counting on you.
It's the water just pouring down his face. It's all that water he pours on his face.
And I love this thing where they have all the all of this where like K13, K14, K15, K16, K17. I love this thing where they have all they're like bring out the emergency vehicles and they have like ambulance, fire engine, and it's like beer truck,
Yes.
tractor.
Yeah. Ice cream truck.
It's him. It's a twister. That guy cracks me up so much.
It's a good little stunt.
Well, I love when she's showing them how to use their inflatable air vests, and it pops up and it's a little duck.
Yes.
We're all counting.
We're all counting. Good luck. We're all counting.
They've already landed.
Striker? Striker, you all right? Yeah. We're okay.
That was probably the lousiest landing in the history of this airport. Some of us here, particularly me, would like to buy you a drink and shake your hand.
And now they leave, and Robert Stack keeps talking.
Ted,
Yeah. And a dramatic monologue.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Thank you for flying Trans-America.
And she's they're jumping off the plane, and she's still doing the only thing that would have made it better if she went bye. But I guess that wasn't a thing.
And then it's funny, that little
was
girl who's made it through all that thing, they're trying to take her, they end up wrecking the ambulance.
Oh, yeah.
She survived the
get a
plane
break.
crash.
And then there's this one piece of the music where they're just like,
Otto, still in the plane.
yeah, they had to.
Because he got a hottie with him. Like a plane could take off with
He's a
no
horn
wheels.
dog.
Otto? No.
Wink.
Wink.
What would have been funnier is if right then a human head had popped up out of her lap.
Oh, man. All right, that is Airplane. I'd say one of my top 10 comedies of all time. And you're
It's
number
my
one?
top comedy of all time.
Top comedy. What do you think, Sammy? Where's this fall for you?
I don't know. It's in my top 10, but it's high. It's high. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, I definitely put it in the top
You know
10.
me. I'm much more of a Mel Brooks guy than I am.
Well, this is
a
pretty.
Yeah.
Same
But
ballpark.
they're different styles or different sensibilities. Maybe I don't know. Mel just connects with me more.
We need to do High Anxiety on the show. That's one of my
Oh, I
favorites.
love High
I do
Anxiety.
too.
Not until we do Young Frankenstein first.
Yeah, we need to do Young Frankenstein. But I'm a Hitchcock and a Mel Brooks fan. That's the
Well, and
perfect-
then Alfred
the perfect-
Hitchcock actually was
He-
invited.
He gave him notes and
on
stuff. Yeah,
script.
yeah,
The whole bird shit sequence is because of Alfred Hitchcock.
yeah.
So
All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up our discussion on Airplane. Christopher, where can our listeners find more of you?
you can check me out through my social media accounts. I like films on Instagram, Twitter.
Say that slower, because that sounded like at like films.
I like films.
Okay, thank you.
You do?
On Snapchat, Instagram, the new Vero. You can look under Christopher G. Moore.
I've heard of that one.
Twitter.
Tinder.
No.
Tinder, Grinder. What's a
Christian Mingle. Filmmakers.
FarmersOnly.com.
Filmmakers who like women. Yeah, all those things. No, you can check out those.
Womenparty.com.
And then you can also check guys who make movies about demonic creatures. Like no, you can look and you can follow my film Gut Punch on Gut Punch Film on Facebook, and you can also follow my filmmaker Christopher G. Moore Facebook page as well. So
Very cool. Sammy, what about you?
You can find me hiding in the fender well of an airplane or the landing gears of an airplane. Fender well. They don't have fender wells, do they? The landing
they worry
gear
about
of an
fenders,
airplane. Hanging on to Otto's junk or something. I don't know.
Gross. Cool.
So yeah, all social media at Sammy Castle. I don't have what's the new one?
Vero is the new social media. It's like Instagram and Facebook if they mated and made hot love.
I hadn't heard of this one. That shows how much I've been paying attention.
It's a new thing. You'll see a lot of
I didn't
people
know
on
you
it on Instagram are starting to
I
post
seen
it.
that Snapchat though. I didn't know you had a Snapchat.
I do have a Snapchat.
Oh, cool.
I like films with Snapchat. I do weird shit on there.
You film with Snapchat?
Huh?
You film with Snapchat?
You can.
I've done stuff.
Video. Yeah.
There was one time I wanted to do a horror film on Snapchat, but somebody already did it, so I gave
Fuck
up
them.
on it.
Boo! The hell with them.
Butt punched exclusively.
Butt punched.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're giving away all their secrets.
Starring Sammy Castle.
And on Facebook at Sammie the Comic Book Man. And if in time travel ways, if you're 30 years in the future, you can come back and see us at MystCon 2018 in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, this will come out in a few weeks, so it'll be way past.
We're going to have an interesting night between the podcast with Bill Mulligan, then we go straight into almost straight into our midnight shift screening, and then straight into your screening. Yeah, it's ought to be interesting.
Con Carolina is coming up in June. We'll be there as guests.
Yes.
I'm an official guest as well.
Are you? Very cool.
Are you? Congratulations.
We'll have to hang out.
Well, what was it I said last podcast? We should rename this tour of film festivals as you'll be so gut punched you're killing giggles on the midnight shift. Or is it something like that?
I'll get in a van and
just drive in the last Airbnb, and the four, me, you, Jason, and
the guys don't say
Howard Koch. Well, I'll give him another 20 minutes, but that's it.
That's it. And the meter's running.
You, me, Tom Gore, and Jason all in a van together touring the Southeast.
That sounds like that's going to end
It's the mystery
pretty
machine.
violently.
Probably.
Yeah, speaking of new social media, I just started a film freeway. They've changed it.
I haven't created my
filmmaker
filmmaker account yet.
It looks just like IMDb, but it's free, so that's cool. I don't know if you're going to actually be able to access it unless you're a vendor on Film Freeway. But anyways, it's there. You can look me up on that.
Interesting. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Sorry, I just happened to notice the animated little sequence here on the menu. I'm on Instagram at Recap Productions. I'm also on Twitter at Hank vs. the Undead. You can check out everything we're up to at recapitproductions.com. You can email us at recapitproductions@gmail.com. I'm sure there's probably something I'm forgetting. Check us out on patreon.com/recap.
Midnight Shift Facebook page, Recap Film Bus Facebook page, Recap Productions Facebook page. I was doing my Con Carolinas thing, and it says give a website, and I was like, because I put Killing Giggles on there, Kill Giggles, and
you need to consolidate that shit.
Haunting of 4 Points, and well, most everything's under Recap.
Somebody's a bragger. I wonder who that is.
I'm a poor man's Tom Gore. Bah.
Just go to recapitproductions.com and find everything else we've got going on. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. I'm not sure which one it'll be, but we'll be back.
Yeah, doing something.
And by the way, guys, good luck. We're all counting on you.
Ah, there you go. He stole your line.